The hatch clangs shut, sealing us off from the world above. In that moment, the boundary between two worlds is drawn, a line between the familiar air and the unknown depths. The sound echoes through the steel, a final reminder of the life we're leaving behind for now. The last sliver of daylight disappears, swallowed by the cold, dark ocean. Shadows stretch across the cramped passageways as the outside world fades away. The only light now comes from the soft glow of control panels and the dim bulbs overhead, casting long, wavering reflections on the metal walls. We are alone, submerged. Our world is now a steel tube, 100 meters beneath the waves. The ocean presses in from all sides, a silent, relentless force. Above us, the surface is just a memory. Down here, time seems to slow, and the outside world feels impossibly distant. No sun, no sky, just the hum of machinery and the quiet murmur of men. The engines thrum steadily, a constant reminder of our isolation. Every system, every gauge, every dial is a lifeline, keeping us safe in this alien environment. This is life on a submarine. It's not for the faint of heart, but it gets into your blood. The routine is relentless, watches, drills, maintenance, meals. Yet, in the monotony, there's a strange sense of purpose. Each man has a role, and every action matters. The smallest mistake can have consequences, so we learn to trust each other, to anticipate needs before they're spoken. Personal space is a memory. Letters from home are treasures, read and reread in the rare moments of solitude. A photograph taped above a bunk, a lucky charm tucked into a pocket. These small tokens remind us of the world waiting above. The ocean is our home now. We are the silent guardians, patrolling the deep. Our mission is secret, our presence undetected. We glide through the darkness, listening for the faintest sound, always alert, always ready. The sea is vast, but in this steel cocoon, every moment is magnified. The air is recycled, heavy with the smell of oil and sweat. The temperature shifts with the machinery, sometimes stifling, sometimes cold. Every breath is a reminder of our dependence on the systems that keep us alive. The walls sweat with condensation, and the constant vibration of engines is a lullaby and a warning. Every sound is amplified, echoing off the metal hull. A dropped wrench, a whispered conversation, the distant ping of sonar, all become part of the submarine's heartbeat. Silence is never complete, but it's always present, lurking between the noises, reminding us of the vast emptiness outside. Privacy is a luxury we can't afford. We live in each other's pockets, 100 men sharing a space not much bigger than a football field. Bunks are stacked 3 high and every inch is claimed. We learn to move quietly, to respect invisible boundaries, to find comfort in routine and ritual. But there's a strange comfort in this closeness, a sense of brotherhood that runs deeper than the ocean around us. Laughter echoes in the mess, stories are shared over meals, and friendships are forged in the pressure of shared responsibility. In the darkness we find light in each other. Every man has a story, a reason for being here. Some are drawn by adventure, others by duty, but all are united by the challenge of life beneath the waves. We become a family, bound by trust and necessity. We rely on each other for everything. Down here, trust isn't just a word, it's survival. In the silence and the darkness, we are more than a crew. We are a lifeline, each to the other, holding fast against the endless sea. Days lose their meaning when you're submerged, cut off from sunlight and the familiar rhythms of the world above. Down here, time stretches and contracts in strange ways, and the outside world feels like a distant memory. The only constants are the steel walls around you and the quiet camaraderie of your fellow crew members. Time is measured in watches, 4 hours on, 8 hours off. The cycle is relentless. Eat, sleep, work, repeat. Each shift blends into the next and the days become a blur of routine and repetition. Yet within this structure there's a strange comfort. The predictability of the schedule helps keep everyone grounded, even as the world outside is anything but predictable. It's a relentless cycle, designed not just to keep the boat running, but to keep the crew sane. Every task, no matter how small, has its place in the grand choreography of life below the waves. Teamwork isn't just encouraged, it's essential. You learn to trust the people beside you with your life, and they trust you with theirs. Food is surprisingly good, considering the circumstances. The galley becomes a gathering place, a brief escape from the monotony. Meals are a time to share stories, jokes, and a sense of normalcy, even when you're hundreds of feet below the surface. We even have a fresh bread maker, and the smell of baking bread is a small miracle in a world of recycled air. It's a reminder of home, of warmth, and of life beyond the steel hull. Little things like that make a big difference when you're living in a steel box. A favorite snack, a photo from home, or a shared laugh can lift spirits and make the days just a little bit brighter. These small comforts become lifelines, connecting you to the world you've left behind. Sleep is a different matter. The constant background noise, the cramped quarters, and the ever-present sense of alertness make true rest elusive. You learn to sleep lightly, always half aware of your surroundings. Bunking with dozens of other guys takes some getting used to. Privacy is a luxury, and personal space is measured in inches. You adapt, finding ways to carve out a little sanctuary in the midst of the crowd. The constant hum of the engines becomes a lullaby, a steady reminder that the boat is alive and moving. Over time, you stop noticing the noise. It fades into the background, replaced by the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The gentle rocking of the waves cradles you, a subtle motion that soothes even the most restless minds. It's easy to forget sometimes that you're surrounded by miles of water and unimaginable pressure. You learn to find peace in the most unlikely of places. A quiet moment with a book, a whispered conversation in the dark, or simply lying still and listening to the sounds of the deep. But every now and then, a nightmare surfaces, a sudden alarm, a jolt of fear, or a memory that won't let go. Down here, anxiety can creep in at any moment, and you have to find ways to keep it at bay. The crushing pressure of the ocean, the fear of fire, the ever-present danger of the unknown, these are the realities every submariner faces. Emergency drills are a regular part of life, a constant reminder that danger is never far away. That's when the true test of a submariner begins. It's not just about technical skill or physical endurance, it's about mental strength, resilience, and the ability to stay calm when the world outside is anything but. Down here, in the rhythm of the deep, you discover what you're truly made of. People think submarines are invincible. From the outside, they look like armored beasts, gliding silently through the ocean's depths, protected by thick steel and advanced technology. But beneath that tough exterior, lies a reality that's far more delicate than most imagine. The truth is, submarines are surprisingly fragile. The ocean is relentless, and even the smallest weakness can become a threat. Every bolt, every weld, every seal is a potential point of failure. The pressure outside is immense and the margin for error is razor thin. A single crack in the hull, a malfunctioning valve, or a tiny leak can escalate into a life-or-death emergency in seconds. The machinery we rely on is complex, and it demands constant vigilance. Every day we check and recheck, knowing that the smallest oversight could have catastrophic consequences. A fire in the engine room is one of our worst nightmares. In such a confined space, smoke and heat spread rapidly and there's nowhere to run. We train to respond instantly, because hesitation can mean the difference between survival and disaster. Any one of these things can spell disaster. The alarms blare and suddenly every second is critical. There's no room for panic, only action. That's why we drill for these scenarios constantly. We rehearse every possible emergency, from flooding to fire to loss of power. It's not just about following procedures. It's about building muscle memory, so that when the real thing happens, we move as one. Every man knows his role. Every second counts. In the heat of a crisis, trust in your crewmates is everything. We depend on each other, and there's no room for ego or hesitation. We fight complacency every day. The ocean doesn't forgive mistakes, and routine can be dangerous. Briefings, checklists, and constant reminders keep us sharp because the cost of letting our guard down is simply too high. Down here, mistakes aren't measured in dollars or downtime, they're measured in lives. The weight of that responsibility is always with us, pressing in as surely as the water outside our hull. And then there's the psychological pressure. Living in a metal tube hundreds of feet below the surface takes a toll on even the strongest minds. Privacy is a luxury, and solitude is rare. Being cut off from the world takes its toll. Days blur together, and the outside world feels impossibly far away. The only connection to home is through static-filled messages and brief, precious calls. Families, friends, even the sun on your face. It all fades to a distant memory. We cling to photos, letters, and the rare glimpse of sunlight through the periscope, reminders of a world that seems almost unreal. But we find ways to cope. We tell stories, share jokes, and play cards late into the night. Laughter becomes a lifeline, a way to push back the darkness and remind ourselves that we're still human. We celebrate birthdays with canned cake and lukewarm soda. Even the smallest traditions become important, marking the passage of time and giving us something to look forward to. We remind ourselves that even in the darkest depths, there's still light to be found. It's the strength of our crew, the bonds we forge, and the hope we carry that keep us going, no matter how deep we go. We were on patrol off the coast of Japan, cruising silently at 200 feet. Suddenly, a jarring thud ran through the hull. Alarms blared, red lights flashed, the boat lurched violently. We'd snagged a fishing net, dragging it along with us. It sounds harmless enough, but those nets can be massive, and if it got tangled in our propeller it could disable the sub. We scrambled to our stations, adrenaline pumping. The captain, cool as ice, barked orders. Divers were dispatched to cut us free. It took hours, but they managed to untangle the net. We were lucky that day, but it was a stark reminder of the constant dangers lurking beneath the surface. Every submariner dreads the words "fire on board," but during a training exercise in the North Atlantic, those words became our reality. Smoke filled the compartment, acrid and choking. Visibility dropped to zero. Panic threatened to take over, but we were trained for this. We donned our oxygen masks, grabbed fire extinguishers, and charged into the inferno. The heat was intense, the flames relentless, but we fought back inch by inch, driven by a primal instinct to survive. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we extinguished the blaze, exhausted, covered in soot, but alive. It was a victory forged in fire, a testament to our training and the unbreakable bond between shipmates. After weeks submerged, the order to surface is always met with cheers. The hatch cracks open, and a rush of fresh air floods the boat. It's like being reborn. We climb out onto the deck, blinking in the sunlight, breathing deeply of the sweet, clean air. The vastness of the ocean hits us, a reminder of how small we are, how fragile our existence. But there's also a sense of liberation, of having conquered the deep. We shed our pale, confined lives and embrace the freedom of the open sea. For a few precious hours, we're no longer submariners. We're sailors, children of the ocean, just reveling in the wind and the waves. Our missions are top secret. We often don't know where we're going or what we'll be doing until we're already at sea, but that's part of the thrill. We train for every eventuality, honing our skills to a razor's edge. We practice launching torpedoes, intercepting enemy communications, gathering intelligence. We push ourselves to the limit physically and mentally. The Sea Van is our mobile home away from home. It's cramped and basic, but it's equipped with everything we need to survive and complete our mission. We eat, sleep, and train in that van, day in and day out. It's not glamorous, but it's essential. Because when the call comes, we need to be ready. No excuses. Life on a submarine changes you. It strips away pretense, reveals your true character. You learn to rely on instinct, to trust your gut. You discover a strength you never knew you had, a resilience forged in pressure and isolation. You also learn the true meaning of teamwork. Down there, it's not about individual glory. It's about the collective good. It's about having each other's backs no matter what. The ocean has a way of putting things in perspective. Down there in the silent depths, the world's problems seem a million miles away. You realize what truly matters: family, friends, the simple things in life. You return to the surface with a newfound appreciation for the world above. It's a strange and wonderful life patrolling the deep. We are the silent guardians, the unseen protectors. We stand watch while the world sleeps, ensuring the safety and security of our nation. It's a thankless job, but someone has to do it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. We are submariners. We are the tip of the spear. We are the silent warriors of the deep.